Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Marc Show. On today's show, we're here with Jill Barber, the jazz extraordinaire, and we're going to be talking to her about her house and her music and her latest album. So Jill, how are you?
I'm so well, Mark. How are you?
I'm wonderful. So talk to us about how your design style has changed over the years.
Well, that's a good question. It's definitely changed over the years. I suppose it's matured. My most recent design has been on the condo that I now live in and share with my husband. So I feel it's definitely evolved from the days when I had 4 roommates and
the bachelor pad.
Exactly. So, but I've always had a lot of fun making spaces my own. And for me, when I moved into my home, this condo where my husband had already been living, it was really symbolic to kind of come in into. Because I moved right across the country from Halifax to Vancouver, so I didn't bring a lot of stuff, so I had to kind of find...
Did you move into a different design style sort of place? Was it yours more modern or rustic, and then you moved into... Because from Halifax to Vancouver, there's a big gap there, right?
Sure, absolutely, yes. It was a lot more kind of quaint, I suppose, my place in Halifax. And, I have to give credit to my husband, Grant. He did a pretty good job on the condo that he had owned. When he moved into it, it had been previously owned by an elderly woman, and he made some changes. He took out a shag carpet and
shag carpets.
He put in some laminate flooring that looked okay, and he, traded her old curtains for more modern blinds. But when I came in, I sort of came in with fresh eyes, and so I took.
And you said we don't need this, right?
Yeah, I took out that laminate flooring and put in some engineered hardwood that looks amazing, and updated the blinds as well. And in fact, I lived for a year with that old lady's pink bathroom. It was a kind of salmon pink.
Oh dear Lord!
Yeah, not any kind of kitschy cool way, but just like horrible pink bathtub.
Like the kind of pink that never was actually in.
No, never.
It was just she just felt like she wanted that salmon look, and ran with it.
It was very feminine. I mean, thank goodness my husband is colorblind, because I think he lived with it for 7 or 8 years, just thinking it was anyway. So
did he not think it was pink, or
no? He didn't. Well, if he did, he just got so used to it he didn't see it anymore. So, but once I changed it, he was so grateful, and he's kind of loved what I've done with the place. So we've totally kind of combined our styles, and they've been really complementary.
How much of his furniture actually stayed in the house once you moved in?
A good amount. Well, he had a great couch, so the couch still exists and is there. I traded out an old grandparent coffee table for a new glass top coffee table. I also traded out what he was using for a dining room table. It was a desk he was using for a dining room table. So
the guy thing to do, right?
Exactly. So we gave that away, and I replaced it with a really...
You were actually able to give it away?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I won't talk about to who, but yes, somebody took it. And there's always somebody that, what is the expression that one person's...
One person's
ugly desk is somebody else's
treasure.
Dining room table. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I definitely made some changes. But another great thing is, and a big feature of our living room, is a fabulous piece of art that my husband picked up before I knew him, and it's very Pacific Ocean themed. It's actually a big giant shark, but it's a fabulous kind of 4x4 painting that was painted by another musician that we both know. He is the drummer of the Canadian band Sloan. So there's kind of a musical connection too. So.
And how do you find that your design actually translates into your music career? Do you have an emotional connection? Because you're very much about the emotional connection with your songs and all that, which is wonderful. And do you find that you have the same emotional connection with your design?
Yeah, absolutely. Both are expressions of my personality and my tastes, and they're both kind of changing things, which is nice, kind of growing, changing, evolving things. So yeah, absolutely. I think space is really important, self-expression is really important, and it represents, like my music, who I am and what I'm all about.
And talk to us about your latest album, and how you came about with everything.
My latest record, Mischievous Moon, was kind of like a design project in a sense. It took a
Building project?
Yeah, it took a lot of planning and a lot of contemplation and puzzling out how I wanted all the pieces to fit together, and then the execution took longer than I thought it would, which is like design as well. Design, renovation.
We all think it's going to happen overnight, but it never does, right?
And it costs more.
Yes.
It's just the two go hand in hand. So
how long did it take you for your album?
Well, from start to finish, from the conception of the songs, probably a year and a half, 2 years.
And you write your own songs?
I do. I write. It's all original music that I record. So that's important to me to write new songs, but in a tradition of kind of classic songwriting.
And how do you, because the music industry is a very hard industry to be in, how do you work through the challenges and stuff like that?
It is a difficult industry, and it takes a certain kind of gusto. But above everything else, I'm really passionate about music, and I really love what I do. And at the end of the day, I get to make music for a living, play songs with my band, travel and tour to different cities, meet incredible people, and then I think I have the best job in the world. So I'm really, really lucky in that respect, and I pinch myself every day. I really feel privileged.
And when did you know that you made it in the music industry, per se?
Have I? I don't know. I'm waiting for that big moment of I've made it. I think that I've made it by virtue of the fact that I can do it for my living, and I really am proud of that fact. I have, there's so many talented musicians in this country that don't have the opportunity to invest themselves fully and to do it full time. Yeah. So I don't have to work a day job, essentially. That is my version of success. So.
I mean, you're not working, at a superstore or something on the side?
Thankfully, no. I mean, all of my resources and all of my energy goes into my music, and that's a really lucky position to be in.
Well, you know what, Jill, we think you're very talented and beautiful as well.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
It's great chatting with you as well. And that's our episode of The Marc Atiyolil Show. We'll see you next time for more design and decor tips.
You don't have to be the sharpest tool.